Something important just changed with the Tesla Robotaxi Cybercab. Not a rumor, not a leak taken out of context, but a real shift in direction that quietly answers the biggest question people have been asking. Is the Cybercab real, or is it still just a concept? When Elon Musk recently spoke about Tesla's autonomy roadmap, one specific update stood out, and it changes how soon the Robotaxi Cybercab can actually exist in the real world. Until now, the Cybercab was treated like a future vision, a fully autonomous vehicle with no steering wheel, no pedals, and no driver. Ambitious, but risky, because the biggest delay was not technology. It was regulation. This new update quietly restructures that problem. And if Tesla executes it correctly, the Cybercab stops being a distant promise and starts becoming a near-term product. Before we break down exactly what changed, why Tesla did this, and how it affects timelines, take a second to subscribe to the channel if you want Tesla autonomy explained clearly, realistically, and without exaggerated claims. That way, you do not miss updates that actually matter as they happen. Now, let us look at what Elon Musk just changed, and why it matters more than most people realize. The exact Cybercab update Elon Musk just confirmed. To understand why this update matters, we need to be very precise about what actually changed. Originally, the Tesla Robotaxi Cybercab was designed as a pure autonomy vehicle. No steering wheel, no pedals, no manual controls of any kind. From an engineering perspective, that design was bold and forward-looking. It represented the end goal of autonomous transportation. A vehicle that never needs a human to intervene, but that same boldness created a massive problem. Regulators. Most transportation authorities around the world are not ready to approve vehicles with zero human controls at scale. Even if the technology works, even if safety data is strong, the legal framework simply is not there yet. Laws move slower than software. That gap between technological capability and legal readiness is what has delayed fully autonomous vehicles for years. Not because companies could not build them, but because governments could not approve them. That is where this update comes in. Tesla has now confirmed a phased Cybercab strategy, instead of launching the Cybercab immediately as a vehicle with no steering wheel or pedals. Tesla will first deploy it in a configuration that can be approved under existing transportation regulations. In simple terms, Tesla is no longer waiting for laws to change. They are adapting the product to fit the laws that already exist. This is a subtle shift, but it is incredibly important, and it does not mean Tesla is abandoning full autonomy. It means Tesla is sequencing it. Phase 1 focuses on 4 key elements. First, full self-driving capability operating at a commercial level. Second, centralized fleet control managed by Tesla, not individual owners. Third, remote supervision to handle edge cases and ensure safety oversight. Fourth, regulatory compliance that allows deployment today, not years from now. Phase 2 comes later. That is when human controls are removed entirely. Once laws allow it, this single adjustment does something critical. It pulls the Cybercab timeline forward by years. Instead of waiting for governments to approve an entirely new vehicle category, Tesla can deploy Cybercab fleets incrementally, city by city, zone by zone, under real-world conditions. That is a major shift, and it explains why this update was not announced with a flashy event or dramatic presentation. This was not a marketing move, though it was a strategic move for Tesla. This approach reduces risk while accelerating deployment at the same time. Tesla gains real-world data, operational experience, and regulatory trust without sacrificing its long-term vision for competitors. This creates an uncomfortable question. How do you compete with a company that can change strategy without changing its destination? Most companies either cling to their original plan or abandon it entirely. Tesla adjusted the path while keeping the goal intact. This update does not lower Tesla's ambition. It makes that ambition achievable. And that is why this change matters far more than it appears at first glance. How this Cybercab change accelerates full SELF driving deployment. This Cybercab update does more than solve a regulatory problem. It directly accelerates how full self-driving reaches real-world scale. Until now, Tesla faced a fundamental dilemma that every autonomy company eventually runs into. Either wait for perfect autonomy approval or deploy technology that cannot legally operate without a human fallback. Both options were limiting. Waiting meant losing time, data, and momentum. Deploying early meant being constrained by regulations that prevent real autonomy at scale. This update removes that bottleneck. By allowing an initial Cybercab version that still fits within existing vehicle regulations, Tesla can begin large-scale fleet learning much sooner, and that matters because autonomy does not mature in laboratories. It matures on real roads. Autonomous systems improve fastest when they operate in unpredictable, real-world environments. Weather changes, human behavior varies. Construction zones appear without warning. These are the situations simulations struggle to replicate perfectly. Every mile driven by a supervised Cybercab becomes training data. Every unusual interaction is recorded. Every edge case is logged, labeled, and analyzed. Every lesson learned improves the system, and once an improvement is validated, it does not stay local. It rolls out to the entire fleet through over-the-air software updates. This is Tesla's core advantage: software iteration at scale. While other companies rely on limited pilot programs, Tesla improves autonomy by learning from millions of miles driven across diverse environments. With this phased approach, Tesla does not need to wait for full autonomy approval to begin collecting commercial-grade data. The Cybercab can operate in carefully defined geofenced areas with remote supervision available when needed under controlled operational conditions approved by regulators. This creates a powerful feedback loop. The more Cybercabs operate, the better full self-driving becomes, and the better full self-driving becomes, the easier it is to justify removing human controls later. Regulators do not need to take a leap of faith. They can observe performance. They can review safety data. They can approve expansions gradually. For Tesla, this is a compounding strategy. Instead of betting everything on a single regulatory breakthrough, Tesla builds momentum step by step. Each deployment improves the system. Each improvement reduces risk. Each reduction in risk accelerates approval. Competitors struggle here. Most rely on expensive sensor stacks, heavily mapped environments, or small test fleets that operate under strict limitations. Progress is slow, expensive, and difficult to scale. Tesla relies on scale, software, and iteration. The Cybercab change effectively turns regulation from a wall into a ramp. Instead of blocking progress, regulation becomes part of the development process, and once that ramp is in place, progress becomes much harder to stop, because at that point, Tesla is not just promising autonomy. It is proving it mile by mile in the real world. What the Cybercab update means for cities, regulators, and ride-sharing. This update does not just affect Tesla. It changes a conversation that cities and regulators have been quietly avoiding for years. Autonomous vehicles created a deadlock. Regulators asked for proof of safety at scale. Companies asked for permission to operate at scale in order to prove safety. Both sides waited. Nothing moved. No large deployments. No meaningful progress. Just limited pilots and endless discussions. Tesla's phased Cybercab approach breaks that loop. Instead of demanding new laws up front, Tesla designed a deployment strategy that fits within existing legal frameworks. That single decision changes everything. By launching Cybercab fleets that still comply with current transportation regulations, cities can approve deployment without rewriting transportation law overnight. That dramatically lowers political risk. A city council does not need to approve a vehicle with no steering wheel on day one. It approves a supervised autonomous service, operating within clearly defined boundaries. That is a much easier decision. It is easier to explain to the public, easier to defend politically, and easier to reverse if needed. For cities, the upside is significant. Fewer privately owned vehicles on the road reduce congestion in dense urban areas. Less congestion means faster travel times and lower emissions. Reduced demand for parking. frees up valuable land for housing, green spaces, or commercial use. Transportation becomes more predictable, which helps city planning and emergency services. Autonomous fleets also allow cities to experiment with mobility without committing permanently. They can start small, measure results, expand gradually. For ride-hailing platforms, this update is deeply disruptive. Human drivers represent the single largest cost in ride-hailing. Wages, benefits, incentives, and turnover all eat into margins, remove or reduce that cost. And the economics change completely. This is where Tesla becomes more than a car manufacturer. Tesla becomes a transportation operator. Not in theory, in practice. Because Tesla owns the vehicle, the software, and the fleet management system, it controls the entire stack. There is no dependency on third-party manufacturers. No reliance on external software platforms. No revenue sharing with independent drivers. That vertical integration allows Tesla to operate at margins competitors simply cannot reach. Cities benefit because they gain a controllable and predictable mobility option. Regulators benefit because deployment is gradual, observable, and reversible. There is no sudden leap into the unknown. This is why the Cybercab update is strategic. It does not force change. It invites it. Cities are not being pressured to adopt radical new laws. Regulators are not being asked to take blind risks. The public is not being asked to trust a black box. Instead, progress happens step by step, and once that process begins, it becomes very difficult to stop. If this explanation is helping you understand what Tesla is actually doing with Robotaxi and Cybercab, make sure you like the video and stay subscribed. It helps this channel cut through speculation and focus on what truly matters. Now, let us move forward. The real risks that could slow the Cybercab rollout. Now, we need to be realistic. This Cybercab update improves Tesla's position, but it does not eliminate risk. There are still three major challenges Tesla must overcome. First, perception. Even if the technology performs well, public trust moves slowly. One high-profile incident can stall approvals across multiple cities. Autonomous driving is judged more harshly than human driving. Even when statistics favor automation. Tesla must demonstrate not just safety, but consistency. Second, regulatory fragmentation. Transportation laws are not uniform. What is approved in one state or country may be restricted in another. This forces Tesla to tailor Cybercab deployment city by city. That slows scale. It does not stop progress, but it stretches timelines. Third, operational complexity. Running a robotaxi fleet is not the same as selling cars. Fleet management requires continuous monitoring, rapid response to edge cases, high uptime expectations, customer service infrastructure. Tesla has experience with vehicles and software, but operating transportation services at scale is a different challenge. This is where execution matters. For Tesla, the risk is not technical failure. The risk is coordination, aligning regulators, cities, operations, and public trust at the same time. The good news is this: none of these risks are unknown. Tesla has clearly adjusted its Cybercab strategy to reduce exposure to all three. That does not guarantee speed, but it does increase the probability of success. And in autonomous transportation, probability matters more than promises. Final verdict: why this Cybercab update changes everything. So let us put everything together. The Tesla Robotaxi Cybercab did not fail. It evolved. What Elon Musk confirmed is not a step backward from autonomy. It is the most realistic path forward. By shifting to a phased rollout, Tesla solved the hardest problem in autonomy. Not technology, not hardware, but timing. Instead of waiting for governments to rewrite laws for a future that does not exist yet, Tesla chose to meet regulators where they are today. That decision changes the entire trajectory. It means Cybercab fleets can operate sooner. It means full self-driving improves faster through real-world data. It means cities can adopt autonomous transport without political risk. And most importantly, it means Tesla is no longer betting everything on a single approval moment. This is not a moonshot strategy anymore. It is an execution strategy. Competitors are still arguing about sensors, Maps and pilots. Tesla is building a system that can grow inside existing rules and quietly outgrow them. That is why this update matters. Not because it sounds exciting, but because it works. The Cybercab is no longer a question of if. It is becoming a question of how fast. I want your honest opinion. Do you think Tesla's phased Cybercab approach makes autonomous taxis more likely to succeed, or do you believe full autonomy is still too far away? Comment phased or too soon below. If you want Tesla autonomy, energy, and future tech explained with logic instead of hype, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because when Tesla makes its next real move on robotaxi or full self-driving, you will want the facts immediately, not after the headlines settle. I will see you in the next one.